Hello, everybody. Today, I'm going to be presenting my presentation. I did mine on modern-day slavery, and my name is John Marley. Well, the definition and statistics of it. Anti-Slavery International defined modern slavery as when an individual is exploited by others for personal or commercial gain, whether tricked, coerced, or forced, they lose their freedom. There are almost 50 million people that are trapped in modern-day slavery worldwide, according to Anti-Slavery International 2023. Modern-day slavery encompasses many forms of slavery, such as human trafficking, forced labor, debt bondage or bonded labor, descent-based slavery, child slavery, forced and early marriage, and domestic servitude. These are all from Anti-Slavery International. 49.6 million people are in forced labor and forced marriage. A quarter of all the victims in modern-day slavery are children. 27.6 million people are trapped in forced labor. 17.3 million people are in forced labor exploitation in the private economy. 6.3 million are in commercial sexual exploitation, and nearly 4 million are in forced labor imposed by state authorities. Signs of modern-day slavery. Someone in slavery might appear to be under the control of someone else and reluctant to interact with others, have few personal belongings, wear the same clothes every day, or wear unsuitable clothes for work, not be able to move around freely, and they may not have access to personal identification. Be reluctant to talk to strangers or officials, including police officers or health workers. Appear frightened or withdrawn or show signs of physical and psychological abuse. They may be dropped off and collected for work always in the same way, especially at unusual times, very early or very late at night. Human trafficking is the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of people through force, fraud, coercion, or deception, with the aim of exploiting them for profit. People don't have to be transported across borders for trafficking to take place. It can happen with a single country or even within a single community. It means people forced into sexual exploitation, tricked into accepting risky job offers, and trapped in forced labor in building sites. Farms or factories being recruited to work in private homes only to be trapped, exploited, and abused behind closed doors with no way out. Human trafficking in numbers. 50% of trafficking victims were trafficked into sexual exploitation and 38% for forced labor. 67% of people trafficked for sexual exploitation are women. 67% of people investigated or arrested for trafficking in persons are men, and 33% women. 46% of trafficking victims are 46% of trafficking victims are women, 34% are children, and 20% are men. And these estimates are by the United Nations Office for Drugs and Crimes. Bonded labor. Bonded labor occurs when a person is forced to work to pay off a debt. Today, bonded labor is most widespread in South Asian countries, including India and Pakistan. For example, in agriculture, brick kilns, mills, mines, and factories, it often occurs alongside forms of modern slavery such as human trafficking. In some societies, debt is shared by whole families who have to work to pay off debts taken on by a relative. Sometimes the debt can even be inherited by children, who are then held in slavery because of a loan their parents took out decades ago. Also, unscrupulous labor brokers and recruitment agencies trap people in debt bondage. They charge steep recruitment fees to workers to secure a job to pay for training and insurance. These fees lead to debt bondage, leaving workers toiling for little or no pay until the debt is repaid. Many people in debt bondage have their passports and other ID documents seized by the employers, leaving the workers unable to leave or living in fear of being criminalized. Child slavery. Estimated 12 million children across the world are in child slavery. 3 million are in forced child labor and 9 million in forced marriage. Child sex slavery or forced marriage occurs when a child under the age of 18 is recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, patronized, solicited, or maintained to perform a commercial sex act or marriage. Forced child labor occurs when a child is required to perform work that financially benefits someone outside the child's family and does not offer the child the option of leaving, such as forced begging. This information is from the U.S. Department of State. Also, children recruitment as soldiers whereby they are forcibly abducted to be used as combatants. Others are made to work as porters, cooks, guards, servants, messengers, or spies. Child slavery continued. Common forms of slavery of children include children abused in prostitution, pornography, or other forms of sexual exploitation, children forced into begging, petty crime, or the drug trade. Forced labor exploitation of the private economy, for example, in agriculture, factories, construction, brick kilns, mines, bars, the tourist industry, or in private homes. Children forced to take part in armed conflicts. This includes not only child soldiers, but also porters or girls taken as wives for soldiers and militia members. Children forced to marry. Anyone under 18 who doesn't consent to a marriage or doesn't fully understand consent is exploited within their marriage or is not able to leave and is living in slavery. Of the children in modern slavery, nearly 9 million are in forced marriage. Descent-based slavery. Descent-based slavery occurs when people are born into slavery. It's practiced in the Sahel belt of Africa, Mauritania, Niger, Mali, Chad, and Sudan. People born into descent-based slavery are treated as property by their masters. They work without pay, herding animals, working in the fields, or in their masters' homes, often in very isolated places. They can be inherited, sold, or given away as gifts or wedding presents. Crazy. Children can be taken away from their mothers at an early age and put to work without ever attending school. Domestic slavery. Domestic workers face increasing pressures and abuse. Their working environment makes them vulnerable to abuse from their employers, given that they live in their employers' private homes most of the times. The circumstances and conditions of their work amount to slavery when employers stop domestic workers from leaving their home, pay is low, delayed, or withheld, pay is given in kind in the form of food or accommodation. Workers are subjected to violence or threats. Workers' identified documents are withheld. Employers limit domestic workers' contact with their own families. Slavery and supply chains. It is the exploitation of people to fulfill a relentless drive for cheap products and services, ranging from consumer electronics and garments to services including shipping and cleaning. There are around 17.3 million people in supply chain slavery. This is from the U.S. Department of State. Examples include children forced to mine cobalt for use in the latest mobile phones, women forced to produce coffee for one of our best-known brands. Almost 20% of the world's global cotton production is linked to China's forced labor of Uyghurs and other Turkish and Muslim groups. Anti-Slavery International 2023. Regions with modern-day slavery. 4 of the 5 world regions: Africa, Arab states, Asia and the Pacific, and Europe and Central Asia are represented in the list of countries with highest prevalence, which underscores the global reach of modern-day slavery. The 10 countries with the highest prevalence of modern slavery are North Korea, Eritrea, Mauritania, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Tajikistan, United Arab Emirates, Russia, Afghanistan, and Kuwait. Questions on the information given. Is modern-day slavery really taking place? The answer would be A, yes. Is modern-day slavery limited to a given geographical area? No. The answer would be B. Do we have people currently in slavery and they even do not know about it or they're not aware of it? The answer would be A, yes. And these are my references. Anti-Slavery International 2023, What is Modern Slavery? Minderoo Foundation 2023, The Global Slavery Index. And the U.S. Department of State 2023, What is Modern Slavery? And that would be all.